Om श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य मआणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि हृदं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु। अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव जिह्वे पिब स्वामृतमेतदेव गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। So we were on the 16th shloka. नासतो विद्यते भावः ना भावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. You will take one more shloka today, 17th. अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. So we were looking at the last shloka. Na asato vidyate bhavah na abhavo vidyate satah ubhayorapi drishtontah tvanayos tattvadarshibhihi. There are people, or we call them great seers, who are the seers of the truth, who have seen this difference very clearly, that in this whole gamut of the creation, what is real and what is unreal. And we spent some amount of time on that whole thing. So we divided the entire creation into three categories. One is that which is real. Real means, as explained in this shloka, that which does not change, which does not get destroyed, or which does not go through any change whatsoever in the three periods of time, which is past, present, and future. There is one more word which I gave in the last time. That thing which does not have this thing called prag abhav and pradhvans abhav. And I said prag abhav as the thing that which is not in a state of non-existence before its birth, it does not go into a state of non-existence after its death. So what is Bhagwan talking about here? What is the kind of thing he is talking to everyone about? He says, Arjun, you first understand this thing. There is something called Sat, there is something called Asat. And we spend some amount of time to establish this fact. This body, is it visible to you? Yes. This body, this mind, this intellect, if I go through this definition, they all will fall under the category of Asat. Then what is Sat? Only this. So, in this shloka, Bhagwan took up that point of Sat and Asat and explain us. In the next shloka, which is 17th, he is going to take up another example of the same Sat. You remember, huh? Now, as I go through the shlokas, I'll tell you, Bhagwan is all talking about the Sat thing. Now, there is a problem and why? Because Bhagwan is explaining this in entirety. There is a limitation in the definition of science there. When science call it Avinashi, because that's the way the next shloka starts, Avinashi. When science talks about something which is indestructible, science talks about indestructible only that thing which cannot be destroyed in three periods of time, which is past, present, and future, which Bhagwan already covered in the last shloka. But there is a small problem there. When you talk about something, about a destruction of something, how things are destroyed at three different levels. Okay, I'm using one word here. One is called time, second is called space, third is called object. Destruction of a thing can happen at three different levels. One first destruction, which is according to the definition of science says, I will call that indestructible, which cannot be destroyed in the past, which was not or destroyed in the past, cannot be destroyed in present, cannot be destroyed in future. That definition Bhagwan has already taken care. But that does not satisfy the definition of consciousness here. Because when you call for destruction, that thing which is divided among things can be destroyed. For example, I have this thing, I have a phone. Okay? When this phone is no longer useful for me, I'll go and buy a new phone. What happens to this? It gets destroyed, right? A new phone will come to me. But what happens? This phone is right now there with me. Before I bought it, it was not there. Right now it is there, and after when this is lost or whatever it happens to this is destroyed, it will not be there. So prag abhav and pradhvans abhav is there for this thing. Anything in this world you talk about, they all have prag and pradhvans abhav. That's one thing. Now, when you talk about consciousness, the first destruction I already spoke about in the period of time. It's called Einsteinian world of time, space, and object. This is a where we use it. If you have heard Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, you will see that this whole world is constantly changing, is in a state of flux. He uses the word, the entire gamut of this Einsteinian world of time, space, and object is constantly changing every day. What it was yesterday, it is not today. What it is today, it is not going to be tomorrow. So that's the first way, which is Kal, which spoke about. Then the difference comes if the consciousness differs from one object to another object. I'm taking a Vastu first. Okay? And if the consciousness is different at one place and another place. Now the moment you divide the consciousness, you have already created a change. Wait, listen to this very carefully, okay? Because it's a very deep subject on this point. So, जो विनाश है वो तीन तल पर होता है, काल, देश और वस्तु. Time, space and object. I use the word. Now, just let me step back and ask you an example. You see the sky. The sky you see, you think it's a real sky. Why? Not because of that. Sorry? It's a space. So what do you see as a sky there?
Emptiness.
Very good. Actually, sky has no form. आकाश शब्द ना संस्कृत में आता है अवकाशयति इति आकाश means that which gives space to everything is called akash. Now let me just take it back as an example and tell you one thing. You know the sky is here also. Can you see it? Because you are in it right now. Sky is not the one which you see above you. No, aeroplane flies in the sky. That's not the sky we are talking about. Whatever gives space is sky. So sky is something but called, I am replacing sky with space. So you see, this entire world is in some space. Earth is also in the space. So where is Akash? Is that the same Akash you see above? Is that the only Akash? The Akash which is around you, the space which is around you can't see. So just because what you can see and comprehend, if you tie your definition to that, then I'm sorry you won't be able to reach anywhere. Because there are many things which are unexplainable. Like I'm giving you an example. I have this glass. This is a very popular example which people use. Okay. I'm using this for the example which usually Vedanta use. They called ghata. Ghata means ghada. Okay. Pot. So to explain a student, a guru got the pot and say, where is the space? He said space is above. So no. There are three spaces here. One is the space above, one is the space you are standing in. There is one space inside the pot also, which they called it Ghatakash. Okay, I'm using terms. Vedant के terms आपको दे ही देता हूँ धीरे धीरे करके क्योंकि these are the terms I'll keep using them. So he says when the pot is destroyed, what happens to the space inside the pot? Think over it. There is no release. The space was already pervading this pot. Okay? Actually, there was no different space of the pot. Just because we had a shape, we termed the space as pot space. But actually, the outside space and pot space were not different from each other. So there was no different space of the pot. Each form so-called limits the space. The space within me is different from the space within you, space within you, space within you. Are there many spaces here? There is only one space. When the pot gets destroyed, that space which was limited by this shape, which was limited for our vision by this shape, it merged with the same thing, so-called merged. It was already one, and it became one with the space. Actually, space was not different. Now, I'll take another example. Wave and ocean. This example I gave in one of the class. Actually, whenever you go and enjoy a beach, you see a wave. We call it wave. Why? Because we are seeing it in a different shape than the ocean. But actually, wave is not different from the ocean. In totality, there is no wave, there is no ocean. It's only water. Okay? The moment you peel back to the actual depth, you will realize these don't exist. Till the time wave was there, wave cannot exist without an ocean. Okay? Wave's existence is dependent on the ocean. And ocean cannot be there where there is no water. So actually, technically speaking, wave is dependent on ocean is dependent on water. Actually, both of them are nothing but water only. Water only in different shapes are coming at that form. There is in Ramcharitmanas, Bhagavan Shiva explains it to Ma Parvati, this thing. What you see as water, you think the water you see is the only water. There is water in the cloud also. Right? But it's up in the sky. We don't know. And when you hear about the incidents of cloudburst, it's such a, this creation is so strange. Everything here is such a wonderful thing in itself. Imagine when you hear of cloudburst, so much water burst out of that cloud in one go, that it swept away a whole city only. How much water the cloud is holding? Who is holding that cloud? How water can be held up? We go to Gangaji. See, I'm giving you one vision here today. See, whenever we see Gangaji, Mother Ganges, or the way we call it, please remember one thing for very sure in your mind. Gangaji is not a normal river. I'm using the word purposively here. Huh? When we read Puranas, we see Gangaji is a river flowing in the heavens. And Lord Shiva got it. The Puranic story is that, Bhagirathi did tapas. He told that, water has to fall down. If Gangaji falls from the heaven to earth, imagine a river falling from the heaven to earth, what destruction it will make on the earth. So they knew that a lot of destruction will happen. So Bhagirathi said, what to do now? He went and requested Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva took the whole river on his head and it came out. There are so many stories go there. Now let's just step back for a moment. In India, you may hear this word called Mother Ganges, Mother Narmada, so-and-so river, Kaveri, so-and-so. Have you heard Mother Niagara Falls somewhere? Why all rivers, all mothers are existing here? Have you ever heard this term anywhere outside? For any river, there are so many rivers which flow from so many countries in the world. Why none of them are called mother? Because India, so much is just not a country only. It's a place, it's a karma bhumi. Here, from Satya Yuga, we were having this discussion in the beginning only. From Satya Yuga, many rishis have done tapas to see what is important for a mankind to just come out cleansed in his life and achieve this. In a normal life, our vasanas are so strong, there is no way we can escape our vasana only to reach here. Forget about knowing him. So Bhagavan says, the first part of destruction is in time, second part of destruction is at the level of space, the third level of destruction is at the level of objects. One object is different from other. Objects can get destroyed. Now, the problem which happens with, I'm using the word problem because for understanding I'm using the word. The distinction which happens with consciousness is that if consciousness differs in period of time, if it differs in the difference between the objects, if there is difference between the space, then consciousness cannot be called indestructible. When the object is gone, we will have to say the consciousness of this is gone. Now, I am taking you to a different level to understand you and me doesn't have two different consciousness. This object, this thing, we are all in the same consciousness. That's why at the level of soul, at the level of self, we are all the same. Now I'm using the word we here because we are only present here to say. I have to take it outside. You see whatever in this cosmos, whether plant, animal, anything which you call, anything which you see, anything which you comprehend is all encompassed by the same consciousness. The consciousness doesn't differ from person to person, object to object, space to space. Because the consciousness is same in 3 periods of time, at all the levels of objects, at all the level of space, the consciousness is called Avinashi. Now that's the next shloka here. Bhagavan uses the word saying that, Arjun, Avinashi tu tad vidhi. You know that to be indestructible. What do you know to be indestructible? He says, now he uses the word, Yena sarvam idam tatam. That which has pervaded this whole cosmos. That which has pervaded. You see, in the last shloka, he spoke about period of time. Here, he is using the word Yena Sarvam. Sarvam mein, he has not only taken the period of time, he has taken every object and every space also in this. That is why, because it is pervaded in the entire thing, or it pervades through the whole cosmos, and it has got no part in itself, it doesn't separate between things, that's why it is termed as indestructible. Okay? It's a little difficult. It's okay. I can understand.
Boundaries खत्म होने के बाद it becomes the same.
When you say, where is the difference? When you call India, so for example, let me forget about India right now. Let me just talk about myself. When you call Anish, you're calling this boundary.
A glass.
This boundary is Anish. My body has created a boundary between this whole space to create a separate identity called me. And I've understood and I've assumed this identity as to be me. I have assumed this identity to be me. Bhagavan is saying, don't do that mistake. You are not this. When you grow up further, little bit deeper, you may think, this body so definitely is born, right? There is something called mind which takes me through the life, managing through this body. Definitely, this is more subtler than the body. Okay? Body is gross. Mind is subtler than the body. Intellect is even subtler than the mind. Now, my vasana, I think I should not even talk about it. There are times in dreams when some things come which we feel scared. This is also in my vasana. Because remember, dream comes according to your karma and vasana. What you have created as an impression. Gurudev says, Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda uses one word, watch every thought and every action. Why? Every thought, every action, once it is repeated, it becomes something called habit.
Habit.
Okay? I don't know why they are looking.
I
Okay.
remember this lecture.
Oh! Everything converts into habit. What is the problem with habit? There is a problem which happens. Habit, once nurtured, gets and becomes desire. Okay? It becomes habit, it will become desire. Desire will create something called kama. Kama is a desire only, but it will create something called work towards it. You will tie something called, this thing is going to give me happiness. You have tied it to happiness. The moment you have tied habit it into happiness, it will become desire. Desire will slowly, gradually become your. No, vasana se bhi pehle hai. Very good. It will become your character. Okay? And repeated encouraging that will convert the character into nature. And that nature, character, desire, habit, all put together will create something called vasana. So Gurudev says, watch out every thought. Repeated thought turns into repeated action. Repeated action, goes and becomes habit. Habit converts into desire. Desire to character. Character to nature. Nature to vasana. There is one thing which you need to remember that. At thought level when it is, it's easily controllable. Provided you have the right power to do it. You have trained yourself to do it. Everybody cannot control thought. That's a practice which you have to do. At thought level you can. But repeated thought when it becomes action, at action level also you can exercise control. You can manage yourself. But when it becomes habit, remember, the impression is becoming deeper and deeper. When it becomes habit, you may not be able to control it on your own. You may need external support. Right? Now that becomes, who is your support will define whether you can support. Some people, they go to control habit to someone, the habit becomes more stronger because the other person is also into that habit. Forget about doing that. So it depends who you go to seek help. That's also, matters here. But once it has moved from habit to desire, then it becomes much more difficult to control. And maybe probably family, friends can help you control your desire. Sometimes situation also can control you, help your desire. You don't have money to buy something, for example. Your situation has controlled you. There is one thing I'll talk about Bhagwan here. There is a role of Bhagwan also in the Vasana. It's so beautiful. You have to, look out to yourself to understand that role of Bhagwan. Anyway, so once it has become desire, it becomes much more difficult. But once it becomes character, very difficult. It has got merged with you. It's become one with you. Character means what? It's you. And till the level of character, if we don't work on it, and inadvertently it becomes our nature, then good luck to you. It may not be controlled in some lives to come also. Because that's how you will be going forward. Gurudev started something called Bal Vihar. He started for a purpose. Why? Spirituality needs to start at the level. See, I'm not saying we are all coming at the wrong place. That's not what I meant to say. But why it needs to start in the childhood? The age from 1 to 13. God has made this creation in such a way that his or her past vasanas don't open up. He has the opportunity to create a culture which can overcome this vasana in 1 to 13. So that's why spirituality is actually needed at the age when we are child. But doesn't matter, it's gone, so doesn't matter. Whenever it is there, it is there. So I think I don't want to reinvent the wheel by going back and making it a regret statement. Oh, so he said that, it should have been done in childhood, let's leave the class and go home. That's not what I meant. Whenever it starts, it starts. Every day is a good day to start. That's the other thing. But if in the age of 1 to 13, a child is able to create stronger culture, which is against his store of vasanas, when the age of 13, that's why you'll see a child suddenly transforms into a different person at the age of 13. Arey, kal tak to theek tha, kya hua isko achanak? He was so good, so obedient. What happened to this child? We don't know what happened. The 13th year, post 13th year, the first day, Vasana opened up. Now the child is different.
Guruji, now that 13 has become 8 or 9.
That's because creation is changing. I'll come to that point later on. But the thing is, imagine, I'm just giving you for a hypothetical example here. Imagine somebody had a very strong vasana of drinking, for example. I'll give you an example straight away like that. Drinking. And somebody gave him a very strong culture that according to scriptures, drinking is not allowed. Just know Bhagwan, know this. Imagine at the age of 13, when he goes to a party and picks up a drink, his culture will not allow him to go to that level. He cannot fall. For example, some people have got loving parents, but their vasanas are very strong. The parents' love is so much, the child thinks twice. I am forced to do all these things, but I do not know what my parents will go through if I do these things. Where it came from? Strong family culture. Culture has got a very important role. Why? Because technically, we are all uncultured. Let me use the word straight away here. We all are born uncultured. Culture is something which has to be cultivated. It won't come to you by birth. It won't come to you just because you have good parents. Culture won't come to you. You will have to cultivate them. There are good parents to many people, But we see many people's behavior into the uncultured way. Why? We are all born uncultured. Culture is something which has to be cultivated within us. If we have a strong culture, this intellect manages this mind, it will automatically control this body. What is so wrong in, enjoying with the body and, giving body the leeway to just control us? Because your impression, your vasana of me being body will grow stronger and stronger. And you will live this life with the thought that you are body. And if you leave this life with the thought that you are body, next life you will be born with the same thought that you are body. You will continue to strengthen this. And remember, how much amount of strengthening you may do to this can never be permanent. Bhagavan said it very clearly. You may do whatever, what you call that, Puja Swami Subodhananji's yajna was going on. So there was a man, and he was from Punjab. He said, Swamiji, I do not know, मेरा बेटा कुछ करता रहता है, कमाल पाती, जो भी मर्जी कर लो आप, whatever you do, this body has to go. Remember, it's not giving you the certificate that, ignore the body. Body is definitely required for this, but it is not required for itself. You need to take care of the body, but don't get overtly connected and attached and identified with the body. That's the problem Bhagavan is talking about. Bhagavan says, continuously spend time on M and I. Bhagavan says, Avinashi tu tad viddhi. When he says Avinashi, he is talking about that Sat which he spoken in the last shloka. You have to tie the shlokas and go. He says, Avinashi tu tad. That tad which I spoke as Sat, that Sat is Avinashi, it is indestructible. It can never be destroyed in no period of time. By destruction of any objects, any space, it cannot be destroyed at all. Why? Because it pervades and permeates through everything in this creation. And remember, it doesn't separate from body to body. Now remember, for one thing, I identified myself as me. What do you call as yourself today? Who do you call as me? It's just the mind and intellect. My soul is the same as everybody. I used one shloka in the last class. Bhagavan says, Tatra ko moha ka shokaha ekatvam anupashyati. One who sees oneness with everyone, he will never have shoka or moha in his life. Why? Because he has identified itself with the same which permeates through the whole gamut of creation. I am one with this, I am not this separate thing at all. Where the problem comes, I'll tell you. The problem comes in many different schools when people teach and all. They show the picture of consciousness as one light, one lamp lying somewhere. Concentrate on that light and you will realize the self. Arey, do you think the consciousness is so small like this light? Why are you trying to push consciousness to that corner in your thing? The consciousness is not one small light. It is the thing which permeates this whole creation without any division of time, space, object. It does not divide itself between time, space and object. It's constant in 3 periods of time. It's constant through any object in this creation. It's constant through the whole space. I am not having a consciousness of my own. I am actually walking in consciousness. In this room, my voice is reaching to you. Why? Because there is consciousness in this room. And the consciousness to a Tattva Jnani is more visible than you and me. A guru sees this consciousness more than actually the body around. When Mother Parvati went to Bhagavan Shiva and asked this question, in the last Sharira of Sati Devi, I was, बहुत malin चित्त था, I had a very impure mind. Who is saying? Mother Parvati is telling. Imagine, जिसका चित्त शुद्ध हो वही बोल सकता है कि मेरा चित्त मलिन है. वरना ये accept करना भी कि that I am impure, it needs lot of courage in this whole world. It doesn't happen with everyone. A Shishya, a disciple is who can openly go to Guru and say, Guru, I am very impure, you come and make me pure. Acceptance. Why? Ego doesn't give us that leeway to accept. Acceptance. It all starts with acceptance. See, Arjun also, when he accepted he's in problem, he cannot resolve. That's when Bhagwan gave knowledge. Na? Till that time, Bhagwan was talking to him as a friend. Hey, what are you talking about? Don't behave like eunuch. Stand up and fight, Arjun. You should not do all these things. It doesn't befit you at all. This is the way Bhagwan was talking. When Arjun accepted, Bhagwan, I am in problem. I cannot resolve my own problem. You come and teach me and take me out of this problem. Bhagwan started one after another. There is one beauty which I'll tell you from this Bhagavad Gita. Whenever I read Bhagavad Gita, I'm really amazed by this fact. You read all the 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. Remember the scenario, don't forget that scenario. Arjun is standing in the middle of the battlefield. Both sides there is army ready to fight. But when you read Bhagavad Gita, you will know Bhagwan is talking consciousness and Sthita Prajna, Bhakti. Arjun is asking question, Bhagwan, tell me, between Sagun and Nirgun Bhakti, which one is better? What kind of a person he is? What happened to the army on both sides? See the whole Bhagavad Gita through 700 shlokas. Arjun never asked Bhagwan, how should I fight the war? There is not even a single question on the war in this whole Bhagavad Gita. Arjun is asking question according to what Bhagwan is teaching the topic. If he is teaching self, Arjun is asking topic of the self. He will come to a point when he talks about the self and this knowledge. Arjun will come, Bhagwan, I wonder, a man who is realized, how does he look? Why? He wants to immediately run away from war and look for a man who was that. He asked the question, Bhagwan, a man who is self-realized, how does he walk? How does he sleep? How does he talk? As if there is going to be a difference in the way he walk, way he sleep and way he talk. Aye bhai, let me tell you upfront, a Mahatma who is realized, you will see no difference in him at a worldly level. But you will see, if you see the depth of him, you will realize through any action he is completely free. But you will have to feel that difference. You cannot make out who is a Mahatma, who is not a Mahatma. Because Mahatma, becoming a Mahatma is not an external symbol. Suddenly he is not going to grow horns on his head that anybody can identify him from outside. He is going to have a longer teeth. He will not, bathe for years. That's not how a Mahatma need to be seen. A self-realized person is a person who has become free while living in this body. He has become free from the hold of this. Because he has become free from the hold of this, he has become free from this. Now one trick I'll tell you, if you want to become free from vasana, become free from your mind and intellect. Is that easy? Living in this world, try to become free from mind and intellect. But that is a way. There is a way to do that. If you become free from mind and intellect, what happens I'll tell you at the back end. If you become free from mind and intellect, you are already free from body. Okay? Then vasana has got no field to express itself. I'm repeating my words. Vasana expresses itself through mind and intellect, through the body. If there is no plane of field available for the vasana, it have no reason for expressing from anywhere. But that's a very, very difficult thing. So Bhagwan is saying, Arjun, you remember one thing, avinashi tu tat, that sat which I spoke about is indestructible because it has permeated and pervaded through this whole creation. Yenam sarvam, anything which you see. Remember, when I use the word anything, there is no distinction between human, animal and plant. There is no distinction between living thing and non-living thing. There is no distinction between past, present and future. There is no distinction between, he's here, he's not in America, he's, in UK, he's not there. There is no distinction of space also. He permeates, means he permeates everything. Now when I use the word he permeates, the first thing which I need to tell you is that whatever good or bad you see in this world, I'm using the word purposively. Whatever good or bad you see in the world, in this world, is living or existing because of that consciousness. But the consciousness is not touched by any good or bad. Even my own goodness and my worseness doesn't taint this at all. It is totally free. Bhagavan uses one word in the next one. Vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Because when I use the word it is permeates through everything means it is itself partless. Partless means?
Can't be divided.
Yes. Can't be divided at all. When I use part, okay, let me just take the example of this body. Body consists of many parts. Heart, kidney, lungs, so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so. Even one part getting impacted hampers this whole body. So Bhagavan uses one word here, avyay. Vyay means that which cannot be spent. Why is he using spend? Actually, Bhagavan means, the word vyay means that which is filled of part. When you have parts, destruction or obstruction to one part actually makes changes in you. Since he is partless, there is nothing which can cause destruction to him. There is no part which can hamper him, there is no part which can actually obstruct him in its continuation. So Bhagavan says, Vinasham avyayasya asya Arjun, remember, that which is free from parts, free of time, free of space, na kaschit kartum arhadi. Nobody can inflict destruction or change in that thing. The Sat is indestructible in its continuation. It can never be destroyed. Now I'll take the next shloka and I'll come back to the shloka afterwards. Bhagavan says, now Arjun, he may think that there are people who may not understand this shloka. And Bhagavan understood that very well. For those people who could not understand the last two shlokas, Bhagavan is giving the next shloka. He says, Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmat yudhyasva bharata. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmat yudhyasva bharata. He says, Arjun, antavanta ime dehaha. Now go back to shloka number 12. You will see one word there. In 12th shloka, Bhagavan used Natve vaham jatu nasam Natvam neme janadipaha. So, which means what? Natu eva aham jatu na asam natvam na ime janadipaha. That ime, these people, Bhagavan says, that same ime Bhagavan has used here, antavanta ime. He used for those people, he said, na, Arjun, remember, neither you nor me nor these people, there was never a period of time when they were not there. There will never be a period of time when they will not be there. So Bhagavan says, technically he said they are not going to be destroyed. But he's never said about that body level. He is explaining here, remember Arjun, ime, these people, all their bodies are antavanta. All their bodies will get destroyed whether you like it or not. Whether you want it or not. All bodies, I use the word which Puja Gurudev said, remember, every body dies, nobody dies. It's a very, when I read it for the first time, I also got confused. What do you mean by everybody? I termed it differently. It's read it this way. Everybody dies, nobody dies. So, if you read that shloka, I have to stress that word. Na? Everybody dies. But nobody dies.
Soul is there.
And that soul is called Sat here in the, previous to previous shloka. 16th shloka. That is what Bhagavan said, Sat. And that is what Bhagavan said, Avinashi. It cannot be destroyed. Bhagavan says to Arjun, Antavantaha, all these bodies which you are seeing in front of you, they are all bound to get destroyed. Even if you attach some liking to someone also or not, even if it's your body. Now I want to extend it to one level, but I'll skip that in the class. I'll probably take it in the next one. If I take it to that level, a gross confusion may arise, as in terms of explaining. But you guys think over it. Antavanta ime deha. Bhagavan is calling all the bodies here. Okay, I'll leave it at that point. He says, Nityasya uktaha sharirinaha. But the shariri, the dehavan, the one who is having the body, he is what? Nitya, as I told you previously. Nityasya uktaha, as I told you in the previous shloka. Because they are all sat. Shariri, the one who has the body, is the soul. It is avinashi, it is indestructible. So it is going to be nityaha. Nityaha means? Nitya में मतलब यही होता है, that which is going to be there in 3 periods of time. But use this nitya to say that is going to be there after the destruction or after the passage of time also, after the destruction of objects also, after the destruction of space also. Okay? When this whole earth space we are staying, right? When this earth goes also, this will not go anywhere. Now use one word. Actually, Navratri is going on. So I must use this opportunity to take you there also. If you happen to be at Vaishno Devi ever, the main shloka they use for Devi is Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Now, it's okay, we have tied one form to Devi and we have given her chunni and sadi and made her sit on a lion and all those things. But when you use these words, pause for a moment and think. When we use the word Shakti Rupena, which form Shakti has got? Shakti is residing through all of us. Shakti is there in the Prakriti also. Devi's another name is Maya. Puja Swami Subodhananji uses one word. After the class, he got stuck at something. He said, Dhanya ho Maya Maharani. आपने मुझे पकड़ ही लिया किसी भी तरह. माया से बचना बड़ा मुश्किल है. माया क्या है? भगवान will explain. आगे के भगवान will say himself. देवी ही ऐशा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव प्रपद्यन्ते माया मेताम तरन्तिते. Bhagavan says, remember, Maya is nothing but my only Devik Shakti. Bhagwan and Devi are not two separate entities. Like your power cannot be separated from you, in the same way, Shiva and Shakti cannot be separated. Lord Vishnu and Ma Lakshmi cannot be separated. They are one and the same thing. The same formless consciousness. For our understanding, it has been given in 2 ways. Now there is a word which he uses here. He uses one word, says Anashinaha. Understand this, that nobody can cause any kind of destruction to that. There is another word he uses, because of which I got the Devi form here. Aprameyasya. He cannot be understood. Understood I'm saying, he cannot be known by anybody. So why are we sitting in this class? If he cannot be known by anybody. Why? Because remember one thing, knowledge is of the objects. That which knows cannot be known. See, I told you today's class is a little deep to understand. But remember, we may use certain words during meditation that drishta bhav rakho. Have you heard this word? Be an observer. Witness. But let me ask you a question. When you say witness need to have something called that to be witnessed. So, it has become 2. That means consciousness cannot be called witness also. I'm using the word again, but there's a purpose I'm using this. You see anything in this world. Bhakti needs 2. Bhakt and Bhagwan. Karma needs two, Karta and Karya. You just try anything in the world. Everything is full of parts. Everything there will be duality. But this consciousness is one without a second. There is no second to it. When he uses the word there is no second to it, it is the cause of everything, but itself it is causeless. Because if it is also an effect, it will also have a cause, then the cause and effect will become different. So this consciousness, even though it is the cause of everything, but in itself it is causeless. Because it is causeless and there is no separate cause from him, it becomes the cause of everything. Now, there are, you may call that God in any form. You may call Krishna, Rama, you call any name. That's up to you. I had a talk in Punjabi University once, and I was told to inaugurate. I was at that time I was amongst those people. They were like PhD scholars and all. They're called big people from all religions and all. So they saw, I am locally over there. So they told me, आप ही inaugurate कर दो session and give something called, an introductory statement. So I said, okay. Then I asked them, who are these people? They said, they are all PhD students. And there is in Punjabi University, which is there in Patiala, there is an institute inside the university called Institute of Religious Studies. There are different people studying different religions over there. So they called me and they said, inaugurate this whole session. So the first point I said is that, I will only give you one statement and I'll move on from here and I'll give other people to say. I said, remember one thing, God is only one. He cannot be two. If he is two, he cannot be God. And I walked off. And everybody thought, there was this somebody sitting next to me, from Jamia Millia Islamia. So he came and told me, he said, you said it all, there is nothing left to say, and I don't know what all to say in there, because you just made one statement, everybody else's statement is finished now. See, what will you explain? There is only one God, he cannot be two, and if it is two, it cannot be God. Baat khatam? So in the same way, he says, aprameyasya means he cannot be known by anything. He cannot be known in its entirety at all. Then what are we doing here? Trying to know him. We are only trying to know this and this. And Vedant uses one word called neti neti iti vakyataha. It is not showing you God. Vedanta is not showing you God. Why? Because God is already inherent in you. You have to only realize it. It is showing you what all is not God, so that you can separate yourself from that which is not God, and what is left is God itself. How do you realize God? You don't have to, get God or realize God from somewhere outside. It's not something separate from you. It is well inherent within you. When I use the word yena sarvam idam tatam, he is pervaded through the whole thing. That means he is in you also. If he is in you, where is he different from you? If he is not different from you, what do you have to realize? You have to only, take away those which you have mistakenly understood yourself to be. What is left is God only. God is not something to be realized from outside. You have to sit in the seat of meditation, remove all the coverings which you have taken on yourself. What is left will become God. That's why he says, aprameyasya. वो कभी भी किसी भी प्रमा की वस्तु नहीं बन सकता. Prama means knowledge. Okay. Now I have to tell you one thing. For something to know, this is, you need to just get this here. How do your intellect know something? It takes the object inside your mind, it covers it from all the side. When it has covered it from all the side, it says, I know this thing. एक चीज को जब चारों तरफ से बुद्धि घेर लेती है, उसको कहते हैं जाना. अब क्या है, क्योंकि ये सब जगह व्याप्त है, व्याप्त बोल रहा हूं मैं, व्याप्त मीन्स परवेडेड है, बिकॉज इट इज परवेडेड एवरीवेयर. Buddhi cannot circle it to know itself, cannot surround it to know itself. Since it cannot be surrounded, it can never become an object of understanding or knowledge of brain, of our intellect. Acha, by the way, I mistakenly used this word brain. Now in the human anatomy, they use the word brain, but they don't use the word intellect so much. These days, I think they have come to use it. What is the difference between brain and intellect?
ब्रेन तो उसका ऑर्गन हो गया, इंस्ट्रूमेंट हो गया.
Good.
And
What did you say?
उसका
Brain keeps intellect.
Very good. Anybody else? What is brain? Brain is a normally known thing for us.
ऑर्गन है.
Brain is an organ, intellect is a knowledge.
Wait, the point is, brain gets destroyed with body, isn't it? Brain doesn't go anywhere. So if brain is everything for me, then my knowledge is gone, wiped out. Then why am I sitting here? What are you talking about that you'll go to the next life and all? Remember, brain is only the seat of these four things called mind, intellect, ego and memory. उसको हम एक शब्द बोलते हैं गोलक. गोलक means equipment. Brain is only an equipment for these two to function. And that brain sits in the body. But remember, the brain will get destroyed. Now remember, at the level of intellect, only spiritual knowledge and cultural knowledge are stored. But this external sciences, what we call about, you may be graduate, MBA, scientist, so and so, so and so, so and so. All that is stored at the level of brain. Because it's stored at the level of brain, a scientist or a PhD scholar also, after his death in the next life, he will have to start from A for apple and B for bat. He cannot say that, no, I was a scientist there, I'll start from there. It cannot happen. But spiritual knowledge is something which goes with us. When this body is dropped here along with brain and heart, this mind and intellect along with vasana, ego and memory traverse through this Om and picks up another body and becomes manifest into that body. It opens up at the same level where it was. That's why I'll use one same example here. I used to work for American Express for a long period of time. But suddenly this thing came up that, I would look for understand and God a little bit better. So when I left my job and I went for the interview, I was shocked and I felt that I had no chance to be selected in that interview at all, because I was from a corporate job and I used to be at a senior position there. So I went in my coat, suit and tie, and when I went inside the place where the interview was supposed to happen for the course, I saw people sitting in ochre and white and everything. So I thought there is no chance. I jumped out of the thing and I said, I want to go. So this lady held me at the counter, said, what happened to you? I said, ma'am, look, let's be realistic. I stand no chance in this course at all. They are already selected. I am the odd man out in the whole group of people. So when I went out, she said, no, don't worry. Anyway, you come here to meet Swamiji and go. So when I came to the course, I don't remember any karma which I have done in my life to reach the course, by the way. So I do not know where it came from also. When I reached the course, when he was teaching me, I felt it's not something which is new. I do not know. And I don't remember I've read it anywhere here now. Because he became the cause to open it, it just opened up over there. In my whole study life, I have studied only 2 years Vedanta course there, but rest is all from Swamis and people I've listened. But if I really look back, I am very sure that spiritual knowledge is stored in this intellect and it travels through this and opens up in the next body. That is why they keep telling you, be spiritual, learn something spiritual. Why? Because that's the only thing which is going to travel with you apart from your vasana and your punya or pap or whatever it is, the karma phala which I call it. These are the only things which keep traversing. So, however amount of effort you give here, you trust me, you are improving yourself in the whole gamut to reach that realization level. Every effort you make spiritually is to grow above these two, above this and reach here. That's why in Sikh religion, they call it Ik Onkar. There you go. Ik Onkar. निर्भव, निर्वैर, अकाल मूरत, कर्ता पूरक, अजुनी सैभंग, गुरु। उसके बाद क्या लिखा? गुरु प्रसाद। हैव यू एवर थॉट व्हाई इट्स रिटन गुरु प्रसाद?
गुरु की कृपा से ही सब मिलेगा।
एक ओंकार, निर्भव, निर्वैर, understandable. I can understand that. Ajuni Saibhang also I can understand. But Guru Prasad means what? It's not something which you can know on your own. Nobody can do that. You have to take the help of a Guru and Shastra. And there is one message I'm going to send tomorrow into the group. Remember one thing, I'm telling you now, it's Gurudev's message only. God alone is the Guru. There is no other Guru at all. God is the Guru. That, see, don't translate otherwise. Don't translate Guru is God. Don't confuse that at all. I said very clearly, God alone is the Guru. He knows every student, every disciple, and He has taken and given things, facilitated things according to each and every student to them. That's why Puja Swamiji said, I'll put it in the message in the group tomorrow. God alone is the Guru. गुरु की तो बनने की ताकत सिर्फ गॉड में ही है, भगवान में ही है. Why? Because He knows in and out of everybody. Because He pervades through everything. He permeates through everything. He has got no division, no distinction at all. So He says, this Omkar, He says, Anashinaha Aprameyasya. A natural question may come, if He cannot be known by anything, what is scriptures and Guru at all doing? They are only teaching you to disconnect yourself. Remember, Guru's job is to only pull the plug. Sorry, I'll use the word. Which plug is He pulling? Wherever you are plugged into, by the way, mistakenly. And plug you to the right source. Because all other places, there is an inherent danger that because of the power variation, your equipment may blow up. This is the only where power is regulated well. Okay? So His purpose is only to disconnect you from wherever you are mistakenly connected. That doesn't mean, He'll tell you to, leave everything and come. That's not also what the purpose of Guru is. Guru is telling you only one thing. You cannot disconnect from things by moving away from things. You need to learn the art of disconnection while staying in the things. Running away from things is not the solution in spirituality at all. Nowhere spirituality gives a heed to running away from situation. Why? You may run away from one place to another, but situations will keep running after you. There are people who have gone from, India में बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, हम चले अमेरिका. मैं एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूँ, I'm not putting down something. वहाँ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अरे भाई, प्रॉब्लम ना इंडिया में है ना अमेरिका में. सिचुएशन तो, परिस्थिति तो आपकी है. It's yours. You have created it. You have earned it through your karmas. You run wherever, situation will run after you. So it's better. Gita teaches one thing. Gita tells Arjun, don't run away. Face it, resolve it, realize it. Full stop. Because without facing it, without resolving it, where will you? I'm giving you an example. There are many people who come to us for things. There is this very big jargon which is there in the normal world called suicide. Many youngsters, they think that suicide is a solution. What kind of a solution is suicide? Where are you running from? You will only escape this body. But you think next body you will escape your karma. It will be the same. There is no point running away from these things. No point running away from situations. No point running away from your own fruit of action. Because you have created them, you will only have to enjoy them. Enjoy, I'm using purposively both sorrow and happiness. There is enjoy them is a purposeful reason. Enjoy, why I use the reason, and that, if you have your intellect on, spirituality on, trust me, you can enjoy through sorrow also. There is an art to it. That art spirituality is trying to teach you. Bhagavan says, Arjun, remember, that is avinash, anashinaha, aprameya. Say you can know through pramana. Then there is one question which comes, I'll leave in another 2 minutes. Bhagavan concludes this whole self-knowledge, sat, asat, avinashi, anashina, aprameyasya. And Bhagavan jumps straight away, says, Tasmat yudhyasva bharata. That's why go ahead and fight. Huh? What are you talking about? You are telling me everything is this unreal, real, anashina, avinashi and all those things, and you are telling me to fight? No. Why Bhagavan is concluding into the fight portion is, every knowledge useless, that, Bhagavan is telling you that, go ahead and fight. Even though everything is unreal, but you still go ahead and fight. Remember one thing, this tasmat yudhyasva, Bhagavan is not telling you that since everything is this you are non-destructible and everything else is destructible, destroy everything around you and move on. That's not what Bhagavan is leading Arjun here. Bhagavan is telling, since this world is like this, there is sat and asat, everything is planned like that. That's why yudhyasya means Bhagavan is telling you, you continue to do your duty. It's not a clarion call for all of us to stand up and go and fight with people around us. That's not what Bhagavan is meaning here. It is only a clarion call to Arjun. Because this creation is like that, don't get worried by these things. Because of your karma, you were born as a Kshatriya. Because of your fruit of action, you were born in this such a good family of Bhishma, Pitama and all. You enjoyed them. But because of your karma only, you'll have to fight with them. So don't run away from your duties. Do your duty, but remember, the purpose is only to do your duty and move on. That's what Bhagavan says. Rest we'll see in the next class. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi adyat sakalam parasmai narayanaeti samarpayami श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम तत्सत्।